Hi guys, how is my Create with TFC team doing? I'm sure we're doing well. What have you created in the last 24 hours? What have you changed? What have you altered? Why am I asking? We should be more conscious of our thoughts. I spoke about that yesterday. I spoke about that the day before. I spoke about how our thoughts stop, hinder, divert, delay the manifestation of the blessing of God in our lives. I want you to pay attention to your thoughts more than ever. I was going to do something yesterday. I thought I'll leave it till this morning. When I said to us, I think when some of us were at the meditation session 2 weeks ago, when during meditation we're led to begin to visualize that we are first spirit. We live in a body. We have a soul. So when people say to you that this is your hand, this is your head, that's not you. That is what you have. You own it. So this body is an earth suit. The only way you can survive on earth is in this body. Now, the mind is what the Bible says we should renew. The mind is where things are created. That's where our creative abilities lie. But whilst we're on earth, the only way the mind expresses itself is through the brain. So God forbid somebody has brain damage. There's nothing they can create in this realm. They can think all they want, but they can't create. However, if their mind is renewed, they can use their mind to create and heal the brain. So if your mind is renewed prior to brain damage, your mind can create and repair the brain damage. But if your mind does not know what the mind is capable of doing, the mind cannot make things happen through the brain. So the brain does not limit your manifestation. The brain does not, what your brain is feeling like, my brain is lethargic, I don't like to read, I'm not organized, I don't do this, I don't do that. All of that is what is expressed through your brain. Your brain is telling you stuff. So when a word comes forth, or when an information or knowledge is acquired, something happens within you. There's an excitement. So when I share something, finish a workshop, you finish a webinar, you finish a conversation with somebody and you are energized, you finish in a coaching session with me, you're ready to fly. That is your mind picking up information. Or better, your brain picking up information because your mind is ready to receive it. But then the same brain that picked up that information also has a residue, a backlog or a storage, a program that's running on the inside, on the back end, that is used to failure, that is used to protecting, that's used to challenging you, that's used to doing the things that is used to doing, that is normally does. So when you think about the excitement you feel after a message on a Sunday or an information you receive that I can do this, I'm going to do this. Why is that some people manifest and some people do not? This is why. Some people manifest because somewhere in their brain, they're able to overcome the limiting thoughts that come up after that experience. Those limiting thoughts, I've always said, they are in your paradigms. That is where the program has been formed by your DNA, things you have inherited from the past, expressions that have been stored away to only show up when something triggers it. So they're there dormant until the trigger comes. And when that trigger comes, that trigger is an event, something you want to do you've never done before, something unfamiliar, something uncommon. The brain is happy with the comfort zone. Once you want to stretch yourself to do what you've never done before, the brain kicks into operation and says, no, alarm bells go off. We can't do that. Now, the amount of positivity around your brain, the amount of positive things you need on your mind, the information, your conscious effort to pull down those imaginations, those thoughts, those things that challenge the things you want to do, the consciousness that you apply to what you now know begins to reduce the impact and the power of that paradigm taking control. That's how you begin to renew your mind and renew the paradigm within your brain. So your brain can then begin to manifest what your mind has received. So as you renew your mind, you are able to change the function and the structure of your brain. They said the brain is very neuroplastic. There's neuroplasticity in the brain, meaning that it's able to it's malleable. It can be very it can be rearranged. It can be reordered. It's like plastic. You can reform it. You can reorder it. So that can only happen when your mind is when you think differently. When you look at things differently with your mind. And as you do that, your identity about yourself begins to change, that this is who I am. And that makes you able to overcome every hurdle that life throws at you. I'm sorry about the noise. The garbage can is outside, but I can't stop the video at this point. So just bear with me. But your mind can navigate every hurdle once you empower your mind. The blessing is within the mind, but the mind can only manifest through a brain that is functional. And that brain is where the enemy brings the blockages and the stuff that stop, or the things that stop you manifesting. So be aware that the brain doesn't have ultimate power. Your mind does. And your mind can heal your brain and make your brain do what it needs to do. So begin to understand what renew your mind is all about. So you can tell yourself, tell your brain, tell everything that makes you to become what it should be. That's why your mind can bring forth healing. We'll talk about that tomorrow. You guys, identity is key. Who are you? I'm hoping that you're beginning to know who you are and the power that you have to make things happen, to create. See you tomorrow.